today it was bigger than usual. It has doubled, 150 million rand. And you did justify it, if it was justification, that money is not the real reason, because you are used to money and you will give money to the needy because God has blessed you. God bless you for that.
Thank you.
President.
Yeah, but the other thing, as I also said, we're trying to teach our children.
Yes.
Again, you can't have a country where rich people will live in comfort and luxury side by side with the poor and marginalized. So you know, it's if you try and create hope and give future because you believe in it, that's fine. But if you don't believe in it, it just makes common sense that we should create a future for everybody, because that's how countries and societies grow and succeed. Otherwise, you've got civil unrest and civil uprising. So, but the other thing as well is I'm what I am because many people have helped me as well over many years. So anyway, what is your question?
my question is, I felt it was half answered. If we can go back to it.
What was the question?
About the reason why you don't stop giving as Motsepe Foundation, and why have you brought up around, your other sporting code, like your netball, as well as adding musical part into.
Listen, we all love music. Let me say two things to you. What is our track record going to look like as the Motsepe family? And the people who form opinions and make judgments on our track record is not ourselves. It's ordinary people, and they have to make whatever decisions and conclusions they deem appropriate. But you know, I have no doubt that I've been immensely blessed. I've been immensely helped and assisted, and I saw that's what my father did. You know, the issue is not Patrice Motsepe contributing 150 million rand. I think what is more significant is the many poor people, and usually our grandparents and grandmothers who make donations to other family members, and that assistance they provide denies them of having meat, or it has a huge impact on the way they live. You know, we donate 150 million over the next 5 years, which is our duty. We have to make humble donation and contribution. But you know, my life will continue, and my family's life will continue. So I can guarantee you, I'm no better. You know, that's why when you ask me this question, it's not. I don't think we as a family are any better or deserve any special recognition. I think there are many people in this country who actually make much bigger contributions and much greater sacrifices than we do. It's just that we are clear. You know, we have a clear duty and a clear obligation, and in a very humble way, we've got to try and give back. And we teach our children, just like my father taught me. You know, and they have to continue. Remember, we are part of the Giving Pledge that was started by Bill Gates and Warren Buffett, and we work with all of these families all over the world, and we also get inspired by countries where there's a giving culture. South Africans are a giving people.
President, there's one thing that you've said before. We were in this same room when you appointed as a CAF president, and when I personally asked you about what happens then to Sundowns, you said your son will take care of the club assisted by the board. Klopi has been good at Sundowns. The team has been doing well. He has brought in a young coach. Coach Run is in charge. I know they'll say I shouldn't be touching on Sundowns, but what do you make of his leadership at Sundowns as you watch from a distance? What have you made of Chairman?
Well, let me say two things to you, and this is crucial. We love football, we are passionate about football, but football is not the significant part and should not be the significant part of what our focus as a family should be and is. Our focus as a family has to be on the poor, the unemployed, the marginalized, because those people have to have a future.
President John Dodge.
No, I'm not dodging. I'll come to you, and I mean this very seriously, because if they have a future, Kopi and them have a future. I mean, we are old men, you know. So I'm just saying, you know, football does not and should not classify or be what the Motsepe family is known for. I mean, there are other families that have made much more significant contributions, much more. I mean, Kaiser Motaung has made huge contributions, and you know, we don't come anywhere near the immense contributions and sacrifices he's made for South African football and Kaiser Chiefs and Irvin, Dr. Irvin Khoza, Dr. Kaiser Motaung now, beautiful, and Dr. Irvin Khoza have also made big contributions. So the point I'm trying to overemphasize is the Motsepe family should not be equated to football. The other families who are much. Let me give you another example. In politics, I don't want to mention names. The other families that are, and of course we don't want politics. Hey, politics, I say food. Forget about politics. But I'm talking about in business, for example. There's Dr. Sam Mutswenyane, there's various other families. So you've got to look at the role of the Motsepe family as really, my father was my inspiration, and he had succeeded immensely, and so did my mother. But, you know, Lionel Messi equals football. You can say so about other people. I want us to avoid thinking that the Motsepe family equals football, because we don't equal football. We love football. We're passionate about football. Our mind doesn't operate when we think about football, and we love music as well, and other issues. But we've got a clear understanding that our primary duty and focus is on. Listen, you can't have football growth and success in a country of poverty and unemployment. And of course, I'm not saying that. I mean, you know, we've got so much to be confident and to be proud of as a country. So, you know, I'll answer all the questions about football, but football is not the identity, is not what the Motsepe family is all about. The Motsepe family has to be about philanthropy. It has to be about the duty we have to give hope to the unemployed, the poor and the marginal, and that's our focus. When they write my obituary, they're not going to say he was president of CAF. I mean, those issues are of really of secondary importance. They're going to say, this man was successful. What did he do for those who were not as fortunate and as privileged as he was? That is the test. That is the issue. So, you know, and that's why I went into football. We see football as a tool, as an instrument, and I'm trying to, you know, this is part of the message on the African continent. And some of the people say, "Oh my God, you know, we love you so much, but focus only on football." And yes, there are times when we have to focus only on football. But if you look at the most successful football nations in the world, those are the nations where there are opportunities and education and resources and skills, and people's standards of living are improving and increasing.
Mr. Motsepe, from my side, obviously you're giving away a lot of money here. There must be some mechanisms as to whether this money is not wasted.
No, that's very important. That's critically important.
And also,
very
another
important.
issue, how impressed have you been with Rulani since it took place?
Remember, I'm president of CAF, so you should ask me. I love Zwane at Kaiser Chiefs. I love the coach of Orlando Pirates. I love him immensely. I love Rulani in that context. I love the coach of Amazul, all the coaches. You know, I consciously, You see, we are looking at this football as a means to bring our people together on the continent. Of course, it's about winning and succeeding, but there's a fundamental, bigger objective. Because the growth and success of that fundamental, bigger objective, the socio-economic upliftment of Africa, greater cooperation, greater unity amongst the people on the continent, that will immensely contribute to the success of football on the African continent for both male and females.
And safeguarding the money, it's not wasted.
Oh, yeah, safeguarding the money. We made a commitment of 30 million in KwaZulu-Natal, for example, for the floods. When they came back and gave us a report, we spent much, much more than that. And I'm sad to say, maybe I shouldn't say that. One of the instances that they're investigating is where we paid millions for water, and our people didn't get the water, but they got the money. So some of those issues are being looked into. You see, let me tell you, the South African media. Listen, I was born in this country, and as president of CAF, my duties with the 54 countries on the continent. But I do recognize that I've got a very emotional connection with South Africa, and this country, and I can tell you what I say throughout the continent. South Africa should be one of the top football nations on the continent. Absolutely, the talent is there, the resources are there, the skills are there, and and that's why encourage all the stakeholders: SAFA, PSL, schools, football, Department of Education, Department of Sports, to all work together. And part of the aim should be, South Africa in the next World Cup should be, if Morocco went to the semi-final and various others did very well, we're very proud of them, and we should aim to do the same. So what I'm saying in conclusion is that, the Department of Education, I'm happy that Angie is doing good work. And but the test is, I was amazed when they showed me the names of the players. I mean, who was seen at the Motsepe schools football. So we'll keep an eye on making sure that the money really makes a difference. Let me just give him a chance and I'll come to you.
Thanks for the details on ENC. I know you touched on it sometime last year. Any update on the proposed
Yeah. Very, very, very exciting. And we'll be making an announcement in due course. There's lots of discussions taking place. The problem we have at this stage, as I said, is, we are starting with 24 clubs. There's going to be some announcements that we'll be making. And we've got about double the amount. And there's some big football countries where the quality of club football hasn't been what it has been in the past. And we're trying to encourage them. Because those are proud football nations. And remember, the school, when I leave CAF, I'm going to be judged by, okay, this is where African football was when you came in. Where is it now? And, I come from the business world. My shareholders say to me, in business, we buy your shares because we want you to make money for us. Where's the money? So the same test is going to be applied in football. I mean, you are the president of CAF. Show us quantifiable, tangible success that has taken place. And we don't have time for smooth talk, because it's like in football. When Bafana plays, they score goals. If you score goals, we win. If you hit the bar, the crossbar, and you stand on top of the football and the score is 0-0-0-0. So we are judged by results, so we need to deliver results.
Take into consideration your relationship with the organization with the Department of Education. And now that you have added another sporting code, which is not going to your relationship.
And also girls and boys.
Yeah, does it suggest that in the near future you're going to add more and more sporting codes? I mean, I know that for where I come from.
Very, very important.
Where I come from, other kids want to engage.
Now, where do you come from?
Mahikeng.
Mahikeng.
Yeah.
Well, let me tell you. Many years ago, we go to East London, and we go to Mdantsane. there isn't a place in the world, one place, township, that has produced world champs, boxing champs, like Mdantsane. As a South African, you have to be proud. So what we do as the Motsepe Foundation, we have to be guided and respond to what our people say on the ground. The girls say, we love netball, so we have to be at netball. The young girls say, but why do you only give football money to boys football? We are not involved. So we start girls football at secondary school and primary school. Music, we love music. But not just, of course, this has to be with choral music. We love all music. Mpachanga, kwaito, all of these things. You might start singing choral music and then music. We want to encourage you. We love music.
Yeah.
And we are investing in music.
Yeah, I love
When we brought Beyonce and Jay-Z, is because we love music. Sorry, continue.
So my point is like sporting cool is like
Tell me which one should be considered. Swimming?
golf.
Golf ke
No, but they do want, but they can't afford.
I can't even. And I say this seriously. We consistently engage. My son plays golf, and I don't even know how to hit this thing, And why rather? So if there's a huge outcry for golf, for swimming, for whatever, we have to look at it, and we will.
Okay, our President Sizwe says it's the last question, so I'm lucky one to ask.
No, we'll take two more.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought maybe because we come from the Yellow Nation, I would be the last one. Okay, our President, you have said it that you want sports or all our people to come together. But what's your main objective of all these sponsors? You have sponsored football, you have sponsored Mamelodi Sundowns, you have done all this. What's your main objective? What do you want to see in your lifetime?
Well, you know what I'd like to see? I'd like to see Bafana, and I'm talking as South African, and that message I give all over the continent. I mean, imagine if Bafana was in the semi-finals of the World Cup. But these things take time. I mean, I'll tell you, in business, there's some people who know how to make money overnight. I can't. I don't know how to make money overnight. Everything I do takes time. And sometimes the things I do, there are challenges, there are problems, and sometimes, it goes up and down. So what I'd like to see is and we're doing the right thing. But the thing that we know is from history, we've learned that as long as you're doing the right things, over time, the results will come. And don't get discouraged because, you've initiated a process and you cannot see the success of what you've started. Listen, schools football, if we focus on schools football and allocate the resources and the structures and the facilities that we should, South African football will be amongst the best, not just in Africa, but in the world. As I said, look at rugby. We've invested in rugby. I mean, we are joint controlling shareholders in rugby. And we'll ask, but why do they win the World Cup 3 times against some of the best nations in the world? Part of it is schools rugby. Strong history, tradition. We've got to do the same. And if we do that, I can tell you, I mean, we'll be proud. We've got to be part of history, man. We've got to be part of a legacy. And it can't be Motsepe made another 10 million, for heaven's sake. There are things that are significantly more important and more meaningful for a nation, for a country, for a people. And those moments of glory and inspiration, when we feel like South African coaches, a South African team has succeeded at the highest level in the world. And of course, as president of CAF, I've got to say, a Nigerian team, an Egyptian team, a Kenyan team, a Moroccan, an Algerian. Okay, one other question. Yes.
With the scope of politics happening in the country, 2024 is coming. After your tenure as CAF president, are we seeing you coming as an independent candidate to become the president of SA?
Yeah, remember what I said? I tell you, it's incredible. People like me should stay out of politics. Because you see, once I get involved in politics, I've got to run for votes. And I've got to position my message in a way that people will vote for me. And some of the things are, it's politically popular, but it's not in the long-term interest of the country.
But George Weah would not support that. You say you've done your part, you don't even need to.
Yeah, but the other thing as well is there are many people who are better than I am, who will make better politicians than I ever could. So I should support them. Listen, let's have fun whilst we are together. And another question?
Yeah.
Yes.
President, Motsepe Foundation over the years has become a catalyst and a game changer by investing in communities. What is your message to other blue chip companies and foundations that are taking a back seat when it comes to investment?
It's a very good question. But you must see where I come from. I was born in Orlando. My mother is from Orlando. I was born in Orlando. But the family is from Pretoria. And that's why I had such a privileged upbringing. And that's why when somebody spoke about the townships and the rural areas and the poor, I mean, those communities and those environments are what inspired me and shaped me and influenced me. And there's nothing that gives me greater joy. Last year we went to Polokwane, we went to Skukuni, we went to Ngungundlovu, we went to Nelson Mandela Bay, and you sit in a meeting with thousands of people, and we talk about what are we going to do for schools and what are we going to do for the churches and the religious organizations. I can tell you, that gives me joy. That immensely, and I can tell you that there are many people in this country. Just a question that you ask, who also give. They don't get the recognition or the attention that they deserve. But there's a lot that we should justifiably be unhappy about. And there are lots of problems in this country. But we should never, ever give up on the people of this country. I mean, this country has got incredible, caring, loving, talented, and that's what gives me inspiration and many of our people. But again, we've gone past the days of talking. You want to see these things, and we believe that together. We got a bonus when in football because Morocco made history. It's never happened, so that's good. And what Morocco did should inspire all of us. I mean, you saw the Soweto derby. Beautiful. I mean, 80,000 people. I shouldn't say this, but when I grew up, there was no Mamelodi Sundowns. So don't ask me which club did I like.
I know.
Don't say that.
I know.
No, you shouldn't say that.
We know.
We used to go to the stadium as little boys, and I tell you, one day we left Pretoria, and there was a football match, and we went to Bara, and I saw people. I think I must have been 11 or 12, and we saw people at the hospital, and I thought to myself, there's the Soweto derby today. We came specially for the Soweto derby. And in your mind you said, I mean, everybody should be there. You shouldn't be, if you are sick, you'll postpone it and go to the hospital tomorrow. But that's a time when, it's part, we should maintain those things. I during the World Cup, during the last year, I'm in Cameroon, and and I've got a big escort, but there's about 100,000 people who can't get into the stadium, and the stadium is full. And I've got police and army people that are telling people get out of the way, and they say if it's football, better you must shoot or do whatever. But the point I was going to make is, as I'm sitting in the car, I'm looking at the houses because we can't move. And I tell you, the Cameroonians absolutely love football. I would never have had that exposure. I mean, went house to house to house. The whole family was transfixed, watching football. And usually when you have these escorts, you go fast in, fast out. So in the midst of, that moment of saying, phew, the president is supposed to be at the stadium and he's stuck in the traffic. But you learn and see how much the people in Cameroon love football. I know how much the people in South Africa love football as well. It's more than just what happens on the field of play. Thank you so much. It's been an honor and a privilege.
You look different with